What up guys, it's Robbins with the Beat Creation. Keeping your session in order is extremely important. By doing so, you will work smarter and faster. Today, this video is about how to create submasters within your session so you can manage, even process your tracks faster and better. So what is the purpose of a submaster? A submaster basically allows you to take the output of other tracks and send them to one auxiliary input tracks, which you can use to process these tracks such as drums, vocals, synths, and so on with time-based and dynamic effects like EQing, compression, reverb, delays, etc. Someone asks a question, why do I need a submaster when I already have a stereo master available? Well, the only problem with that is that the stereo master is an overall fader that controls all the other tracks in Pro Tools, period. So if you try to process effects through the master, that will affect everything. Whereas the submaster only affects the tracks that you route to it, which is a major difference. With that said, let's go. Alright guys, let's jump right into it. Okay, so we're going to create a submaster for our drum tracks. Hold Command equal. We want to highlight the last track of the drum tracks. And then you want to hold Shift Command N to create an auxiliary track. So we want to change it to stereo. We want to hold Command, the left arrow key to stereo, and now the bottom arrow key, choose aux input. Hit OK. Now we have an auxiliary input tracks right here. We're going to change the name, double click on that, let's call it drums sub, enter. And we want to keep everything organized. Now we want to change the color of our submaster with the same color of our drum tracks. So just double click on the bottom strip right here, and then the color palette should show up. Now to make sure we pick the right color, just highlight this one here. It's going to show you which one exactly we're using, and then highlight this one again and just pick the proper color. Okay, so now what we're going to do next, we want to send the output of all these tracks, the kick, snare, hi-hat, and side sticks, to the submaster input. So what we're going to do now, we want to click here in the submaster's input, and now we're going to assign a bus to it. So I'm going to pick bus 1 and 2. Now what we're going to do, we want to change the name of that bus. So right click and then click on rename. And now we want to name that drums sub. Okay, now that we name it drum sub, now we want to send all these tracks to our submaster. We're going to click on the kick, the first track, and you want to hold shift to click on the last track of the drum tracks. And so now we want to select all of them. So what we're gonna do next is to hold shift and option. Now we can click on any of these outputs here. We're gonna click on one of them and then go to bus, and now we're gonna click on our drum sub. And now, as you can see, everything changed. Now, the next move we're going to make is to make sure that we solo save our submaster here. If we don't do that, in any event that we solo one of these tracks, notice you don't hear anything. Reason why? Because our submaster is not solo safe. So if I were to solo it right now, then you're gonna hear that. So we want to solo save it. So what we're going to do is to hold Command, click on the S right there, and as you can see, the S grayed out. So which means now it is solo safe. So whenever that we're playing, it's going to play for us. All right, unselect that so we can hear everything. Now with the submaster, now we can control all these tracks here, that is within the drum tracks. And we can even process these tracks all at once. Like for instance, if you want to have the same compression on the kick drums, on the snare, and so on, you can just throw a compressor on the submaster here, and you can process all these tracks all at once. Okay, so this is the very good purpose of having a submaster within your sessions, because it makes things a whole lot easier. All right, and you can control the volume of all these tracks. So it's basically kind of work like grouping them together, but except you cannot process through grouping. Okay, we can put down all this volume of the drum tracks down all the way just by using the Submaster. Okay, let's make sure it is at unity gain. Okay, and that's basically all there is to it. Now this is one way you can create a Submaster, and there's another way you can create a Submaster faster. Instead of create the track and then go and hit shift and option to change the output of those tracks, so you can do this, that it's all going to change for you. How you're gonna do it? Let me go ahead and make another Submaster for my keys section here. I'm gonna press on the piano tracks, selected, hold shift, select my string. So now all these 3 tracks here, I want to put them on a Submaster. The next move we're gonna make is to hold shift and option, and we're gonna go to the output of this track here, of the last one, so that way Pro Tools can put the Submaster to the right side of the last track of the keys. And press that, and as you can see, it gives us an option to create a new track. When you press that, and here we go. Now we have our track, it's already selected as stereo. It is an auxiliary input track. And now all we gotta do, just change it to keys sub. And then once you hit OK, notice what happened here. Everything already changed for us, so we don't have to do anything else. So that's the fastest way to do it. And now we want to make sure that we solo save that track by holding commands and then just hit the S. It's solo save. And also we want it to be organized. We're going to double click on the strip right here. Now we have our color palette shows up. Now we want to change the Submaster color with the same color as the keys tracks. And now we want to select by holding shift option to unselect everything. Now we want to select this one right there, and now we can choose the right color. That's pretty much all there is to it. So let's just say if I want to process these 3 tracks here, all I have to do is just throw an EQ here, and then everything is processing all together. Like, and just grab this. This is just an example of what you can do with a Submaster track. So we don't need that EQ here. Let's just take it off. No input. Okay, here is the thing. The question that was asked, well, I already have a stereo master, which is the master fader here. So why do I need a Submaster? Well, the master fader controls everything. Look at this. It controls everything. So the same way, if you were to put a plugin here, it will affect all the other tracks that is within your session. So it is not ideal for you to process through your master fader. So this is where Submasters comes in, and it makes life a whole lot easier. Just keep your sessions organized and you're going to work a whole lot faster and better. And that's the way you create Submasters within your session. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and check the bell icon so you don't miss out on future uploads. Thanks. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.